Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I'm going to go through the changes to Timeline Battle with the Challenger League and the voting system, the cheering system, the new glory tokens and the advanced glory tokens in the token shop, and try and explain all of these new mechanics and systems to you, explain how to best use your glory tokens, and talk about the Challenger League, what's good about it, what's bad about it, and what it has done for the rest of the leagues, Vibranium all the way down to bronze. So we're gonna try and go through everything. So first off, we have this new Challenger League. This new Challenger League is made up of, I believe, 25 or 50 of the top players that had been at the top of Vibranium League the week before. I believe it's the top 50 because the bottom 25, the 25 worst players from Challenger will be dropped for the top 25 of Vibranium next week. And that's how players will cycle in and out of Challenger, but it still only affects an extremely small pool of players, which is why you can vote. So the way that the voting works, you can go ahead here and you can see a list of all of the players that are sort of listed here from the Challenger League. You can also kind of access the Challenger League by going here and then pressing that little refresh button in the very far corner underneath the rightmost thumbs up. And that will refresh this and show you 3 new random Challenger League players. And basically what these Challenger League players are doing is they're fighting amongst each other. They can't fight against you or I or anybody else. Their fights can only exist amongst each other, and they're basically just competing for the #1 score. Now, from what I understand from talking to people who are in this new league, you can refresh endlessly. So it's not like there's a limited number of attacks, and it basically is probably going to come down to whoever has the most amount of time and whoever has the most amount of crystals to spend. So there is a spending component, there is a time component. I do wish that they had reduced the number of attacks, especially because they have a revenge system. I think the revenge system makes it so that you don't need to create unlimited fights, because you'll always get more fights in the end because you can revenge the people that fought you, right? For every time you get attacked, you can attack again. So if they had limited the number of attacks that you can do on your own and then just whatever have unlimited revenges, then I think that would have made the system more interesting, more competitive, while still being a sort of Whales War type thing. So you can see here, you can take a look at the team. You can take a look at the win streaks. You can see here Carl is 45-0, but we don't know his ranking. They're keeping all of that private because it adds a layer of difficulty and it also adds a layer of mystery. You know, I don't know how many points you have. I don't know what score you have or what rank you're in, so I should just keep playing and refreshing more and more to try to beat you, right? So it's basically like Vibranium on steroids. Now, why is this interesting? Well, it's interesting for 2 reasons. For one, you have these buffs. These buff effects, they've talked about it in the patch notes, but basically you can read what they do. For example, this buff gives everyone on Carl's team, everyone that's a hero, has their attack increased by 25%. If we go ahead and take a look at his team, he's got 2 villains and a hero. So Molecule Man and Null don't benefit from that buff, but Sentry does. However, that buff also has a synergy effect. If you get another buff with the same synergy effect, you will activate the synergy effect. And as you can see, the 2-set bonus, just like, you know, a 2-set bonus in a RPG game, right? If you equip the hat of knowledge and if you equip the boots of knowledge, then it will give you +1 to intelligence. It's the same sort of idea. So here you have become invincible for 1 second when the battle begins because he has 2 of these effects, right? I don't know on which other one it is, but it's this one here. So this support effect and the first support effect are synergizing. This one has a different basic effect. It increases the human HP by 12%, which is actually great because it affects Molecule Man and Sentry. They're both humans, so both of them will have their HP increased. So you can see that these buffs have a wide range of abilities, offensive, defensive. Some of them are just sort of like static, a 20% chance to paralyze when you get attacked. So you can have all these different effects that will change the landscape of the battle. Some of them are just stat boosts, but some of them have actual implications. Some of them reduce the damage that you take from certain types. So if you know the meta is leaning towards universals or blast types or whatever, you can sort of build against that. So there's actually a lot of room for growth and creativity here. And who knows, maybe in the future with enough experimentation, you'll be able to build a team that is not necessarily fully, in line with the meta. Maybe you get a bunch of mutant buffs, for example, right? So this one, a universal attack. There's probably one that increases, I've seen one that increases human mutants attacks here, but basically, let's say you get one of those and then you build a entirely mutant team, and then maybe that works, right? Maybe you use Wolverine, and I'm dreaming here, but you sort of get the point that I'm trying to make. There is possibility in these buffs. We haven't obviously seen the full extent yet. This is still the very first week. That's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about these buffs being applied to Vibranium, to Platinum, to the other leagues, and giving the rest of the players a chance to play with this, because this is where I start to dislike the new timeline battle. Remember when they asked us, hey, vote on which content you think needs to be improved. Well, these were the results of the content improvements, and we also had a vote the year before, and timeline battle was third. So timeline battle is very popular for being reworked. As you can see here, over 2,000 people voted, and that's just the people who decided to make an account and log onto the forums and vote. There's obviously way more than 2,000 people that wanted timeline battle to be improved, but they basically made timeline battle improvements for, 50 people? That's like 2%. So 2% of the people that voted actually get to experience the improvement, the content improvement. Everybody else gets nothing except the cheering system. So they desperately need to announce that, hey guys, we're not done yet with the timeline battle improvements. We're not done improving the gameplay, because they actually haven't improved the gameplay at all. If you queue up in Vibranium or in any other league, you still face all of the same problems. You have the same cookie cutter builds, the same cookie cutter teams that are just the same 5-6 characters, just carouseling around. Sentry, Silver Surfer, Colossus, Sentry, Jean Grey, Colossus, Sentry, Thanos, Jean Grey, Sentry, Silver Surfer, Jean Grey. It's all the same teams. That problem is still the same. And then the other problem of having very, very strong players in very low leagues sort of bullying new players is also a problem. Look at this guy. Why is this guy, his name is Alexa, whatever, similar to me. He has 3 tier 3s. Why is he in bronze, right? Why is he able to bully players who don't have any tier 3s? This guy's rocking Silver Surfer, Jean Grey, and Nightcrawler, right? These are full meta teams. How is this guy being paired up in bronze, right? So we've talked about this before, but there needs to be some sort of matchmaking component to figure out your power level, right? I should not be matched up, given my team, given the power level, right? Look at the growth score. I'm over 350,000 for Sentry. I'm over 350,000 for Jean Grey, and I'm almost 300,000 for Colossus. My combined growth score is like 1 million, or over 1 million. I should not be paired up with someone who has 2 tier 2s and a tier 3, and their combined growth score is 500,000, right? You've got to do something for the matchmaking, and you've got to do something for the diversity of teams. They tried to create diversity with restricted list and buff character, but as you can see, it's useless. There's no restricted characters this week, and normally they just restrict one character at a time. So it's just Silver Surfer being restricted, or just Sentry, or just Jean Grey. And it's a bunch of other characters that nobody uses, like Spider-Man, or Ant-Man, or Black Panther, or Wolverine. Like it's a bunch of characters no one uses for PvP anyways, like Anti-Man or whatever, Nova. And then you have a bunch of buffed characters here who are never used anyways because the buffs aren't good enough, right? Yes, you're giving penetration now, 10% attack, defense, HP, and penetration rate, and that's for each grade. So that means that, Misty Knight is getting a 40% attack, defense, and HP buff, and a 20% penetration rate. Guess what? Misty Knight still can't compete with Sentry, who has iframe ignore and healing and revive and all of this other stuff. This just doesn't work the way that they thought it was going to work. So they need to do something about this, right? This all needs to be changed, because currently the vast majority, 99.9% of players, you're looking at these changes in timeline battle, and there's basically only one way that you have to participate, besides looking at the buffs, right? You can look at the buffs and be like, ooh, the buffs are cool. You can look at them and read them, and it's pretty exciting for me to read them. But then, once you read them and you know what they do, that's kind of all you can do. You can also fight their teams, which is kind of interesting to see, how much stronger is Carl with these buffs, which is cool. But really, the only thing you can do is vote. Now, I'm going to show you who I voted for here. You can see on your cheer list who you voted for and how many times you voted for them. So I voted for Afterpulse 3 times, TM VIP 20 once, TMD Neol once, Commander 10 times, and Carl once. Now, why are these cheers important? Well, the more you cheer for someone, the more you will get back if they win. However, the more that everyone votes for someone, the less that you win collectively if they win. So it's exactly like a regular betting scenario. If everyone bets on the same team to win, then you have to pool that money and divide it by all the players who betted. It's not that much. If you're the only person who bets on someone who has like a really low chance of winning and then the underdog wins, your payout is gigantic. That's basically how it works. So my advice to you, if you do want to cheer, you should spread your cheers out. Obviously, you could be cheeky and you could cheer once for 20 different people because you have a maximum of 20 cheers. I don't necessarily recommend that. You can see I have 4 cheers left. But you can see here for Carl, because so many people vote for him because he's famous and he's popular, I'm only going to get 33 coins for every 1 vote. So if I put my maximum 4 votes, I'm only going to get 129 coins. Take, for example, someone else down here like Master Eeyore. If I put 1 vote on him, I'm going to get back 433. So obviously, very few people have voted for Master Eeyore. If I put my full 4 cheers that I have remaining, I will get almost 2,000 advanced glory tokens, which is a lot of glory tokens. Now, again, you can bet on the dark horse. There's all these strategies, but basically my thinking is take about 6 or 7 people and vote for them about 2 to 3 times. That would probably be the best scenario. Not quite 20 and 1, a little bit better than that, so that you get a little bit higher of a payout if you do win, because 1 for him is going to equal to 400, but for him it's like 500. Okay, for him it's 400. Wow, some of these are actually quite high still. 180. So some of them the payout is just not quite as much. But now, how do you afford to vote for these players? Well, in order to cheer for them, you actually have to use up your glory tokens that you get from playing Timeline Battle, as you can see right there. So that's the trick, and that's basically the cost-benefit analysis that you have to ask yourself. Do I want what the glory tokens are going to give me, or do I want what the advanced glory tokens could give me? So actually, voting is not for everyone. Some players will want to vote because the rewards for the advanced glory token shop are what they need. If you need tier 3 materials and you don't need comic cards for whatever reason, then you should use the voting system, the cheering system, and you should increase your odds of getting more advanced glory tokens by, trading in your regular glory tokens, because you can get, I have some now because I just did my regular, I did like 16 out of my 20 cheers. So I've gotten enough for a very small amount of tier 3 materials, but at the end of the week, whoever wins, if one of my guys wins or places second place or whatever, I'll get more. But I'm trading glory tokens for that. So if you'd rather have one of these items than what the tokens will give you here, then you should cheer. If you really want this chest and you really want a chance to get 3 to 6 star comic cards or Uru, then you should be not cheering. That's basically the equation, because nothing else in the glory token shop is good. Maybe black antimatter if you need it. Maybe 200 black antimatter a week is not bad. It's a little bit of extra farming if you're trying to build up Odin or whatever. I imagine a lot of players are going to be doing this because they want to upgrade their cards. So I'm actually going to open this for you guys 10 times to show you what it looks like. So we're going to do that right now here. And there you go. So I actually got some pretty good rewards. I got more Uru than cards, which I didn't want, but I ended up getting a 4-star card and a 5-star card. Now that is actually very, very good, because a 4-star card is basically what I get daily from ABX, and then a 5-star card is excellent, right? Because that's 1/6 of a 6-star card. So those rewards are quite good, but keep in mind I just spent a week's worth of Timeline Battle, or not a week's worth, about 3 days worth of Timeline Battle tokens, given my VIP level. You'll be getting fewer tokens if you have a low VIP level, so you know what, it actually could be a week's worth of tokens for that one box. So getting a 5-star card, a week, it's not very good, right? This chest obviously is not very good. It's better than the old chest. We just couldn't really recognize that it was better than this old chest because you're getting so much more, right? But the thing is, with this old token chest, with this old honor token chest, you're getting a bunch of 1 and 2-star cards, right? So it seems like you're getting more because you end up with thousands of 1-star cards. But once you combine them all up, 1,000 1-star cards doesn't even come close to a 5-star card, right? You need more than 1,000 1-star cards to make one single 5-star card. So me pulling that 5-star and that 4-star was worth way more, and I don't even have to spend the gold ranking up the 1-star cards. Anyways, that's basically how it goes. That's basically what it is. I would have preferred, personally, if they were to divide the comic cards and the Uru into 2 separate chests. But, you know, that's for me, that's secondary because these rewards are technically better than they were before. My primary concern is the gameplay. The gameplay for Timeline Battle has not changed at all. And so I'm wondering, why did we vote, right? All I can do, the only gameplay that's changed for me is the cheer system. And I like the cheer system. I think it's fun. There's actually more layers to the cheer system because I'll show you guys in a minute what it looks like from the view of the person being cheered. You're basically giving them battle tokens that they can use to buy more buffs so you can like help your friends out or whatever. But there's very little interaction outside of that, right? It's basically just a little gambling scenario. And outside of that, there's just no content, right? There's no gameplay. You don't get to see your favorite Marvel characters doing anything. There's nothing Marvel here, right? Besides the buffs. So that is something that I do think needs to be addressed. Now, taking a look behind the scenes, I want to show you guys what it looks like from the point of view of one of these players who made it to Challenger. So big shout out to Afterpulse. Thank you for providing us with these screenshots. You can see here that their window when they're battling looks basically identical, except for one, you can see the listed buffs for himself and his enemy there, and then you can see that if he wants to search for a new opponent, he has to use these sort of thumbs up tokens. Now, how do they get these thumbs up tokens? Well, if I cycle through here, I can show you that you get those thumbs up tokens. I believe you get them when people cheer you on. You can see Afterpulse there has 351, but you also need these thumbs up tokens to purchase buffs and upgrade the office. Now, upgrading the Challenger support office basically will enhance the rarity or the possibility to get rarer buffs. You can see here right now, Afterpulse has a 55 with the level 2 office. He's got a 55% chance to get a regular, normal buff, a 38% chance to get a rare buff, or an advanced buff, excuse me, and then a 5% chance to get a rare buff with a 0% chance to get a heroic, legendary, or mythic buff. This creates a kind of popularity contest because essentially the more people that vote for Carl, the more, cheers tokens he's going to get, which means he'll be able to upgrade his office way higher than anyone else's, and he'll be able to afford way more expensive heroic, legendary, or mythic buffs, which obviously are going to have greater effects. I'm not really a big fan of that because, yes, you get fewer rewards for voting for the same person, which encourages the populace of the game to vote sort of flat and sort of build everyone up equally, but that's not necessarily how it works out in practice. So a lot of the players who are in Challenger might end up feeling ripped off, and they might end up feeling like the experience is just not fun for them because part of their experience, right? Like, imagine how hype you would be. You got into Challenger League, you spent all those crystals to refresh, you're here, and then you're like, oh, no one's voting for me, so I can't get more buffs. So you can't even experiment and play with this system because of this. So I personally think that the cheer system should exist on our end, but I don't think the cheer system should dictate what the players who are in Challenger should do. The players who are in Challenger paid to get there. They should be given free reign to do whatever they want. They shouldn't be held back like this. I think they sort of complicated and over convoluted the system for no reason. You can also buy more tokens, but you have to spend your glory tokens. So yeah, I mean, there's not really much need for the Challenger players to spend their glory tokens on. They can't spend it on cheering, so they really can only spend it on those card boxes or on this. So that kind of makes sense. It gives them a different outlet since they're not cheering, but I still think that this is a poorly executed system. But I do see the benefits in this system because they can introduce it to the rest of the game. And if the rest of the game can get these bonuses, I think it would be really, really cool. You can see bonus points can be acquired based on the number of requirements all 3 characters meet. So you can see here, you have a hero requirement for the team. So it's sort of encouraging you that you can get bonus points when you win a fight, if you're using blast types and you're using hero types. These are the kinds of things we need to see. These are the kinds of rewards and these are the kinds of encouragements that if they encourage enough and if they give enough of a reward for doing these things, then we will see a meaningful change in PvP. But otherwise, even in the highest level at this point, Challenger, there's basically no change. It's the exact same cookie cutter teams with very, very small variations, mainly meant on, mainly designed to just beef up the best character. Oh, everyone's running Molecule Man, so I'll just sub out Colossus for Ebony Maw, who's going to give Sentry even more of a buff. So yeah, to be honest, I am a little bit disappointed with these timeline battle changes. I really hope that these are not the only changes that they intended to do, because like I said, we voted, right? We voted, and we deserve a game mode for everyone to enjoy, not just for the top players. So yeah, let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments down below. But yeah, I really hope that we're going to be hearing more about timeline battle, and maybe even more about Conquest in the coming weeks and months for the rest of the players who are not the top whales. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.